Shalom Chaverim, Shalom Talmidim. This is Rabbi Yitzchak Shapira coming to you live, definitely a special live edition of Pearls of Torah from beautiful Singapore. I just arrived several hours ago to Singapore to do a special 10 days intensive training and teaching to all the students of Yeshivat Shuvu. And I didn't plan of doing this week Pearls of Torah, but this is such a exceptional Torah portion, and I realize for many of you in the US this is very early in the morning, so you will be able to catch it later on. But this is such an exceptional Torah portion in Tazria-Metzora that I wanted to bring you this teaching this morning, and wish you first of all Shabbat Shalom wherever you're watching right now. If you are traveling here to Singapore to these events this weekend, we pray upon you safe travels. If you're in the US and you're just waking up, we wish you a wonderful Shabbat as well. And this week I'm going to do it truly old school, just me and my Bible, no commentaries, nothing like this, just give you some thoughts on Parashat Tazria and Parashat Metzora. When you read a Torah, when you read the Torah portion, it's very important to always to pay attention to what's come before the portion, what's come after the portion. I mean, the following week after Tazria-Metzora, you have Achrei Mot, you have the first Yom Kippur, very important portion. The portion before Tazria-Metzora is Parashat Shmini, which is also very significant. Tzav, Shmini coming, and then you're going to Tazria-Metzora. You have to pay attention to the flow, because those five portions are the most messianic portions, I would argue, in the entire book of Leviticus, and perhaps in the entire Torah itself. In the Torah portion, and today we are going to look at a very important passage, we're going to receive a revelation what and whom Isaiah 53 is actually referring to. You might not know the connection between Isaiah 53 to Parashat Tazria, Parashat Metzora. Let me start by saying to you that there is a great connection between those two portions, as you're going to see in a moment. But this Torah portion starts in chapter 12, verse 1, and it says, Vaydaber Adonai al Moshe lemor, God speaks to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he says to him, Daber al Bnei Israel, speak to the children of Israel. Isha ki Tazria, a woman that about to conceive, v'yalda zachar, and give a birth to a boy, zachar. The first question we have to ask ourselves, who is the zachar that is talking about? Okay? She says here, v'yalda zachar. There is a clue already in the text. Chazal said that this son who is being born here is none other than the Mashiach. Okay, interesting commentary by Chazal, and they connected this verse to the verse in Tehillim, in Psalm. Go with me quickly. Psalm chapter 2, you will notice the exact same language that we just read in the Torah. It says there, verse 7, Esapra el chok Adonai, I will tell about the law of the Lord. Amar Elai, and he speaks to me. Bni ata, you are my son. Ani ayom yeladeticha. Today I have begotten you. Today I have birthed you. Chazal connected Parashat Tazria and Metzora to Psalm chapter 2, which is clearly a messianic chapter by all the commentators speak about the Mashiach. Okay? So here we have a birth of a son, and it says that the woman will be tme'ah, she will be tme'ah for 7 days, according to the days of the Nida, and by Yom HaShmini, in the 8th day, something happened. Okay? By Yom HaShmini, Imol Basar Arelato. First of all, the Arela is important. We already understand the word Arela is happening here, the mention of Arela, because he's entering into the Abrahamic covenant. It is Avraham Avinu in the Torah. The first time the Arela is mentioned is with Avraham Avinu. He is entering himself into the Abrahamic covenant. Now, it's mentioned the Yom HaShmini here because it's important. The Torah portion last week is talking about Parashat Shmini. And why it's important? Because Parashat Shmini, speaking about the number 8. The number 8 is the number of the supernatural. Like when we say, Pele Yoet El Gibor Avi Ad Sar Shalom. 8. Like Aaron, the high priest, who wore 8 garments of clothes. It is like the 8 days before circumcision. It's supernatural. And here on the 8th day, it's supernatural. He is born. He is revealed himself. 7 days he's tameh. The 8 days he's quote unquote revealed himself. He is a tameh and he revealed himself. He's not born yet until a child really truly not receive a name until the 8th day. Okay? The day of his brit. And the very next thing in the portion, we're reading about the conception, Tazria, and then it's talk about the Metzora. And then the entire portion speak about the Metzora. The question is why? Why is this Torah portion called She Conceived, Conception, Tazria, where it's talk about the Metzora? And why is it this portion, the following portion called Metzora, but it really does not deal with the Metzora. He's dealing with his healing. Pay attention to this. It is important. Because the child that is born in this portion is the Metzora himself. Okay? And here we see it. The chapter 30. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור. אדם כי יהיה באור בשרו. First of all, Chazal asked the question, why is he called Adam? Adam, the word Adam, means a man. Why is he not called Enosh? Why is he not called Ish? You have to pay attention to the terms the Torah uses. Why the Torah uses certain terms. And Chazal said, the reason he is called Adam, listen to this, is absolutely amazing. The reason he's called Adam, because it's a remez, it's a linguistic remez for the Mashiach. And therefore, the Mashiach will resemble a leper. Adam, Aleph, Dalet, Mem, it's an acronym for Adam, who was the first Redeemer, David, and King Mashiach. Aleph, Dalet, Mem. Adam, David, Mashiach. Okay? So, when we see this term, Adam, and by the way, Mashiach called the second Adam in Corinthians. Yeshua himself called himself Ben Adam, the son of Adam. Okay? Adam ki hiye be'or. So now we are talking about, on the pshat, about a man who has a smudge on his face. He is a Metzora. Okay? He appears like a Metzora. Metzora or the disease Sarat is not a regular disease. It's a disease that comes from one who speaks falsely. Okay? Motzi, like the Motzi, Ra, evil. The one who brought out evil. Okay? The one who brought out evil. And what happened to him? It says here in the Torah, if he saw him, vaya be'or besaro lenega sarat. He will have a skin, some sort of a skin part, like sapachat or bayeret. Sometimes some people say it's white. Bayeret is like a white patch, or sapachat. Sapachat is like skin rash. So he had a skin rash or a white patch, and he had to come to the doctor. Who is the doctor? The doctor was the high priest, and the high priest diagnosed his position, and if he had nega, he had to go out for 7 days, and only on the 8th day, okay, if he's healed, he'll be able to come on in. Very interesting. What does this have to do with Mashiach? Notice that one who suffered from leprosy had something called nega. Now, in the book of Yeshayahu, chapter 53, we read the following about the servant of the Lord. It says, and allow me to quote to you, Isaiah 53, verse, let's start actually, verse 4. Achen, therefore, or because of, Chaleinu, our sickness. It cannot be speaking about Israel here, because he is taking the sins or the sicknesses of Israel. How can Israel take the sickness of Israel? Impossible. I guess one can argue that the healthy part of the body can take this part of the sick part of the body sickness. It's possible. But I don't think that is what it is talking about. Chaleinu hu nasa, who is a singular. If it was referring to all of Israel, it would read Hem Nasu. But it's using a singular first person. Who Nasa. It cannot speak of all of Israel. It is have to speak about one entity. Who Nasa, who Machovenu, Savlam. Okay? He is taking upon himself all the pains, all the sicknesses, and look at this. Ve'anachnu, now it's we, Israel, ve'anachnu, chashavnu. חשבנהו, נגוע, מוכה אלוהים ומעונה. The word there in Hebrew, nagua, is the exact same word that is used in the Torah portion. The word nagua here, the same word that is used to represent the fact that we saw him as leper. He was not a leper, but to us, he appeared as a leper, okay? He was a nagua. He was filled with the nega. By the way, if you take in Hebrew the word nagua or nega, and you flip the letters, you get the word oneg. Delight, pleasure. By taking upon himself our spiritual illnesses, sicknesses, diseases, we were able to enter into a life of a delight. Yes, he appears as a leper. Yeah, he became a leper. And by the way, the Brit HaChadashah says that Yeshua became sin. There's a difference between being a sinner and becoming sin. Yes, he made the sacrifices on behalf of Israel. Yeah, he's atoned to Israel. And for Israel, he became as a sinner, not from his own sin, but from the sin of the people. Okay? So this entire portion here, speaking about the nega of the tzarat and the removal of the nega of the tzarat. So if you want to make yourself a note, Parashat Tazria is this first coming. Tazria-Metzora is his second coming. Okay? If we just go just a little bit forward, chapter 14, Tazria-Metzora, it says, וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, God spoke to Moses again, זאת תהיה תורת המצורע. Here I'm going to give you the Torah of the leper. Notice he's calling a leper, but it says ביום טהרתו, in the day that he is purified. Wait a second, there is a paradox here. If he is a leper, how come it's talking about the day of his purification? Chazal come and it says that it is speaking of the day of his revelation, the day that he revealed himself, the day that he appears as who he really is, the day of his coming. That's the day of the second coming. This is not my word. This is the word of our sages. It says, Beyom Taharato, it's his days where he appeared to us. And look what happened. Vayatza Kohen, and the Kohen went outside the camp and he get healed. And only then, he able to come back into the camp. Okay? Yeshua today is still a Metzora. And he will continue to be a Metzora until somebody will go outside the camp and will be willing and will be brave enough to bring Yeshua back. I know it's hard for many of us to believe it, but Yeshua need our help. It says in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 11, in perfect harmony with rabbinical writing, in perfect harmony in Parashat Tazria-Metzora, in perfect harmony with Isaiah 53, the following. כי הבהמות אשר הובם דמן בקודש לכפרת החטא על ידי הכהן הגדול, גוויותיהן נשרפו מחוץ למחנה. Just as the animals that brought to the kaporet were burned outside the camp, also בעבור זה גם ישוע, also ישוע, למען קדש בדמו את העם, הוא נע מחוץ לשער. The same thing is true of Mashiach. He has been suffering outside like a leper. לכן, therefore, נצא נא, let us go out to him outside the camp and take upon us his shame, because we don't have a standing city, but only a city to come. In essence, Rav Shaul challenging us, and he's telling us that it is our job to bring Yeshua back into the camp of Israel. Parashat Metzora is the top portion where we bring him to the camp. God has given us the job of to being like a Kohen Gadol. Go outside and to look upon him and to testify that he is a kosher Jewish Messiah, to testify about him, to testify about his name, to bring him back to the Eretz Israel. Here's the problem. If we ourselves outside of Israel, if we ourselves do not act like a Jews, we cannot bring him to the camp because we are ourselves lepers. Therefore, we must learn how to work inside the camp, how to work inside Klal Israel. You know what I'm doing here in Korea, in Singapore, is I'm teaching all of my students from all over Asia how to lead their synagogues and congregations, so that they will be able to bring Mashiach back into the camp. That's really what it is about, bringing him back into the camp. And God is giving us a great commission and a great mandate, and we can hasten his coming if we do the work correctly, if we do the work properly. Who Isaiah 53 speaking of? Well, I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt, that the words of Nagua, Muked, speaking about the Messiah. How do I know it? Because our sages tell us so. In Sanhedrin, chapter 98, those verses are quoted specifically, and they are applied to the Messiah. Therefore, we must represent him in honor, in integrity, in a way that brings kavod to his awesome name, so we will not be any longer a Metzora, but he rather will be the one that the mighty one of Israel, the mighty one of Israel sent to us. Okay? So notice one last point. It's talking about the Adam. And as I explained to you, the Adam refer to the Mashiach. Okay. But another way to read about this is the Adam who become a Metzora refer to you and I. Okay? We all have Sapachat, Metzora. We all have it. And the word here, Sapachat, is important. The word Sapachat means a disease. But if you look at the root of the word Sapachat, disease, you get the word Sapach, Nispach, Isapach, which means to be grafted in. That's the Hebrew word, to be grafted in. There are two types of people in the world, Chazal said, according nations, by the nation. There are two types of people in the world. Those who will be like a sapachat, those who will be a disease to our people, and those who will be like a nispach, who will join themselves in to Israel. What do you choose today? You choose to join yourself to our people, and if you do, you will know it by one thing. Not by how much Hebrew you know, or how much Torah you know. You will know it because you will become like a leper. You will become like a leper, but you will have an opportunity to also bring Mashiach back to the camp. God is giving us a special mercy to do so. So the question becomes, what Yeshua did that make him a leper? What was such a terrible things that you have done that make him a leper? I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer is actually found in the Brit HaChadasha in several places. Allow me to share with you one or two of those places, okay? The first place, actually, that I would like to take you to is in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2. It says, Al ken, therefore, ki otem hagoyim babasar, you are going by the flesh, anikraim arelim, okay, who are called uncircumcised, pnei nikraim bnei milah, in front of those who are called circumcised, shimasi yadeim babasar. And here you go, verse 12. You were, without Mashiach, estranged from Israel, foreigners to the covenant of the promise, hopeless, without God in the world. But now in your Messiah, Yeshua, you were far, become close, according to the blood of Mashiach, through the blood of Mashiach. Okay. He has destroyed the mechitza in his own debt. Messiah has went and he opened the door. He broke the mechitza so that everybody will be able to come into the covenants of the household of Israel. This covenant is given exclusively for the Jewish people, have been made open through Mashiach, our righteousness. But in order to make this door open, he had to pay a costly price on the cross. I don't know if we think about this often, but he became a Metzora truly so we can partake of the covenants. Most of the world who proclaim to believe in Jesus reject the covenants and reject the reason why he came to begin with. How absurd is that the world reject the reason that he came for to begin with? What I'm trying to tell you today is make sure that the name of Yeshua and his death upon the cross was not done in vanity and for nothing. And as we count the Omer toward the Torah, make sure that you walk into the right covenant, in the right place, in the right time, with this right God and with the right people. This is my challenge to you. Many of you are involved in things that maybe are estranged from the covenants of Israel. Many of you might not even know about the covenants of Israel. Let me tell you a secret. The reason Yeshua died is that you will be able to come into those covenants, so that you will be able to partake in them, so that you will be able to obtain the promises and the blessings that are found in those covenants. God has made the way. He has made this path by breaking the mechitza. So now, what we must do is to walk inside the city. Awaken the city. Awaken the inhabitant of Zion. For Zion's sake, I will not be silent, he says in Isaiah 62. Why does it say, I will not be silent in Isaiah 62? So that the city will be awakened. And the city inhabitants, the Jewish people, will be able to call and say, Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. God is invited you and make a way for you to come to the city. Not just so you be quiet in the city. Some of you on the opposite end are so afraid to offend the Jewish people that you're afraid and you don't tell them about Yeshua. I tell you, stop it. The reason you receive salvation is that you can come in and partake and awaken the city inhabitants. It says, Soy to Zion, Isaiah says. Your God reigns. Say to Zion, proclaim to Zion that Yeshua is King. We have a commission. We have a responsibility. And this Torah portion is telling us that he started as a Metzora, he's ended up being purified, but something happened here in between. Somebody has to go and bring it in. It's the Kohanim, it's the Kohen. All of Israel is called Mamlechet Kohanim. Do you realize that? Israel is the one that have to invite Yeshua. It is not my words, it's the word of Yeshua himself. Oh, Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, who killed the prophets. How alone to gather you like a hen that gathereth chicks, but you are not willing. Your house will remain desolate until you say, Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. So how is Baruch haba b'shem Adonai will occur? It's occur through the fullness of the Gentiles. How is the fullness of the Gentiles occur? It's occur by the Gentiles joining the city, awakening the city, causing the city to shake, and then the inhabitant of the city, the natural inhabitant of the city say, come on, let's go bring back our king. This is truly how Yeshua will be revealed again, not as a Metzora, but he's king. You see, the Jewish people have the role of being woken up. The nation have a role of waking Israel up. We both are important. We both have a different task and role, and we both need to do it faithfully. If you are from the nations, you don't need to prove you're Jewish. Simply do your job and be content with it. Wake up your Jewish brothers. If you're a Jew, your job is to wake up and ask the question, why is Messiah resemble a leper? Why is he outside the camp today? Why can't he return back home? It is time for him to come back, friends. That's what I'm doing here in Singapore. I'm here to help those who need help to do the job faithfully. That's all what we are here in Ahavat Ammi Ministries in Yeshivat Shuvah. Simply, we're enablers. We're here to support. You have to do the work. You have to go and proclaim to Zion. You have to come back. People do not understand why we take such a strong position against the Hebrew Roots movement. That is the reason why, friends. Because we need to return to Zion. We need to awaken the people in Zion. We need to awaken the natural branch. There's only one Judaism, okay? We need to awaken this Judaism so that they will be able to return and bring up King Mashiach. He is no longer Metzora in our eyes. He never been a Metzora in our eyes. But he is still today a Metzora for his people. He says in the end of Psalm 198, if they truly want me, if they truly desire me, I shall return. I'm longing for his return soon. And that's what we're doing here. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your financial support. This is what it's about. Working together. If you don't know where to start, you can start in our yeshiva. If not our yeshiva, find another yeshiva. Learn properly and know that your job is to wake up the natural branch. I wish you Shabbat Shalom. I know this was a different type of lesson today. Rabbi Shapira Unplugged, no commentary, just some things from my heart. God bless you, and may the day of his Tahara will come soon upon us. Little Shabbat Shalom.